Boys, there's been a fiery debate between the three of us about this World Cup, and I think this podcast might be a little spicy tonight. What do you guys think?
It's not a debate. You guys are just wrong.
One of us is clearly wrong here.
This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League we're not the Premier League, the World Cup, wherever we are. For three friends, we support different teams. I've already got my Arsenal jersey back on because I'm done with the World Cup. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for club football. That's Brad. He supports the U.S. and Chelsea. That's Sean. He supports Harry Kane and only Harry Kane. And I'm James. I support Arsenal. U.S. as well, whatever, man. What's up, boys? How are we doing? Hello.
Hey, wait. We had some banger games, though. Like, we can't say this World Cup has been boring.
Bro,
that's the one word you can't use to describe it.
This World Cup has been the best I can remember. Like,
yeah,
2010, 2006. Like this World Cup's been a banger.
Maybe mid-season World Cups could be a thing. I didn't think I would like this. I thought there'd be a ton of injuries. I mean, we'll probably see them in like January, February, March. But I mean, like this has been a good World Cup.
I hate the December. Like I hate the interruption to the club season. I would much rather have watched 4 weeks of Arsenal than this World Cup. But it's been a good World Cup when compared to other World Cups, in my opinion. But
everybody's in form. I think that's probably what it is.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun. A lot of good games too.
Yeah. Your boy Giroud's in form, right? Right, Brent?
Yeah. Oh, he's in killer form.
All right, let's jump right in. If you're new around here, if you could hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell. This is our last full look at the World Cup. So next week we're going to be back to our regular scheduled program, which is Premier League, and more Premier League, and occasionally making fun of Barcelona and Juventus. But if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell. If you're on our podcast sites, hit us with a follow, rate us 5-star if you're on Apple Podcasts, and then jump in our YouTube comments, leave us a comment down below. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like. Share it with your friend. All those things, normal things that the internet people ask you to do with their content. I would ask you to do that for us. It would help us out tremendously, and we would love you for a very long time for doing that. But as we're accustomed to doing here, what we're going to do for you guys, so we got a couple comments that we're going to dig into. We're going to look at the World Cup. We haven't recorded an episode since before the quarterfinals, so we'll touch on the quarterfinals. The semifinals were just played over the last 2 days, so we will analyze that in our Red Card Radio fashion, and we will preview for you the final coming up on Sunday. Should be a good one. And then we'll kind of, I think that's about it. That's about all we've got, unless Brad's got some random trivia, or if Brad wants to fight Sean about Olivier Giroud and Harry Kane or something like that. That's a little teaser for what the beef has been in our text chain recently.
That's a huge teaser. That's not huge. That's not a teaser. That's the whole damn thing.
Well, no. By Brad's account, he would rather take the career of Rob Ninkovich than Dan Marino. Is what he's telling me.
We're just getting into it.
We're gonna see. We'll talk.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, comments last week. Joel hit us up in the comments. We had a little bit of debate last week about Anthony Robinson, about how we thought, or Sean, specifically you, how you thought he was rife for a move to a Big Six club, a upper echelon, a Newcastle. Specifically, you thought that Anthony would be a good fit for Newcastle. Joel disagrees. He says he's going to pass on Anthony Robinson. He likes Dan Burn and Matty Targett more, and Robinson wouldn't start for Newcastle, which I think is kind of the point we made, that he wouldn't start either, that this would be kind of a learning curve, and that Robinson's not top 6 Premier League standard. Jimmy decided to pile on and said,
I think we were arguing that, though. I think the point of the move was not to start and help right away. It was to grab him and while he's still developing, and have him for the instance that in 2 years, when he's 22 or 23, that he is what you think he could be, and you've already got him, and you don't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money for him.
Yeah, I mean, that is certainly the benefit of getting someone young. But I mean, I think there is.
He's only 19 or 20.
Yeah, but there's also a
Something like
benefit from playing week in and week out. Look at someone like Saliba, who Arsenal signed 3 years ago, and it took him 3 years before he played a professional match for Arsenal. He was loaned out back to France and got valuable experience
Sure.
playing week in and week out against other men. I think that's. I think it would probably be better for his development to play. I know I made the comment last week that being in the Newcastle locker room and being part of the top four battle and all those things would be useful to him. I still think that that's also true, but I think that probably the more important thing for Anthony Robinson is to be playing every week. Because I mean, look at someone like Pulisic, right? He was playing every week for Borussia Dortmund. He goes to Chelsea, and the competition is so much stiffer. That
He wasn't at the end.
What do you mean he wasn't at the end?
Jadon Sancho had replaced him. Or essentially was replacing him when we bought him.
Well, that's because they knew he was leaving, right? Why would you continue to play someone when you have a like-for-like change who is going to benefit you longer? You know what I mean? Like that makes sense from Dortmund's perspective, because wasn't the signing announced essentially? Like, it was rumored for a while, I thought. I digress, though. Like Pulisic certainly has fallen off because he isn't playing week in and week out.
Oh, I agree. I don't disagree. He has.
So,
well, hopefully he gets that move he's looking for. He's looking for a move for more playing time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Pulisic can go replace Sancho at United.
Maybe he can. Yeah, maybe he can be the 24th signing for Nottingham Forest.
There you go.
I think they just signed somebody else, actually. But we'll get into that later.
Ridiculous. Jimmy decided to pile on to Anthony as well. He says he doesn't care for Robinson either. He works hard but loses so many attacking opportunities due to an abysmal first touch. That's how Jimmy saw the tournament. So
you can learn first touch. You can't learn working hard. You can't learn work ethic.
Yeah, I think it's much easier to improve technical ability than mentality. But I think mentalities can also change. Mentalities can also change. It's more difficult.
Change, but
it can also just be Dele Alli and just be a slug and not care.
Yeah.
There's that as well. But no, all right, boys. Really appreciate the comments. Love digging into that. Love talking about it. Let's tackle this World Cup stuff. So we kind of have to talk a little bit about the quarterfinals, a little bit about the semifinals, obviously the semifinals, and then we'll kind of preview the final going into it. So let me get everything pulled up here the way I want it. So if you look in here, so we had our first set of semifinals. We had the Netherlands and Argentina. They played against each other. That game ended 2-2. Went to a penalty shootout. Ultimately, Argentina won 4-3 on the penalty shootout. Now that game was interesting because Argentina had a 2-0 lead going into like the 80th minute, and then the Netherlands scored early, like 81st minute, something like that, and then scored again with like the last kick of regular time on an absolutely phenomenal free kick. It was beautiful, and just caught Argentina sleeping. So game was drawn 2-2 in 90 minutes. No one scored in extra time, and Argentina, Emi Martinez had a great penalty shootout. He saved 2 penalties, and is a beast. And then had a ridiculous amount of crap to talk after the game about Louis van Gaal and the Netherlands and the referee. He was just going at him. So the other match played last Friday was Croatia and Brazil. Brazil scores late in the second half. I think it's not late, like mid-second half. Neymar scored a great goal. It was a really tight game.
Amazing goal.
Croatia equalizes very late. Game goes to penalties, and Croatia win 4-2 on penalties. Brazil just looked uninterested in the penalty shootout for whatever reason. They I don't know what it was, but lackadaisical perhaps, and then I will never understand personally, and maybe you guys can tell me if you see the logic here, but Neymar didn't take a penalty. Neymar was probably 5th on the list, but he never took a penalty because it never got to him. Croatia had already won. I don't ever understand the point in having your superstar, best penalty taker, whatever, unless he's just a bad penalty taker, which is obviously not true because he's taken penalties for club, for country. Like, so if there was a penalty in the game, I'm fairly certain that Neymar's taking it. So why is he shooting 5th in the shootout?
So I guess it depends on which one you think is more pressure. Do you think the first shot is more pressure, or do you think the last shot is more pressure?
I think the first
Like
shot is, you might not ever get a last shot. You might not ever get a 5th shot. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just go, if you have 11 players on the pitch, you're 11 best penalty takers. And
that's how Argentina did it. So like I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you what probably was the thought process in the Brazilian lineup.
Yeah. I mean, and we can look at the Euro final in England. And they had Kane go first, and then I don't know if it was Henderson
Harry
second.
Maguire.
Harry
Maguire.
And then it was
Rashford,
Sancho,
Saka.
And all 3 of them missed it. So, like, I mean, but to be fair, Saka had never taken a penalty in his professional career at that point. So whatever, Gareth Southgate. He's not thinking. But again, I digress. So like I see the point there. Like which is more pressure. But you have to put yourself in a position to even have that opportunity, in my opinion.
Has to be a mix. You have to maybe not Saka going last, but or maybe you do that by design, but maybe Southgate had it right where you go your best penalty taker first, then you've got not one of your best ones, but one you're pretty confident that's going to make it. Then you go to a good penalty taker in Rashford. Then you know what I mean? Like he's kind of bouncing around and trying to make sure that he gets there, and then but still not save some of your best for a little later.
I mean, I think Marquinhos was 4th for Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, it's like he was a veteran player. It's like yeah. I think I would rather have my best penalty takers 1st and 2nd, and then maybe some veterans like 4th, 5th, 4, 5 that are maybe not as good at penalty. Maybe like Thiago Silva or something like that. Put Thiago Silva 5th. Why not? He's 38 years old. He can hit a penalty.
Doesn't take penalties.
Who cares?
I don't know if he has.
Who cares?
When has he? Like you have a team that can't do this. Like Rodrigo's miss was just bad.
Yes.
Right? It was just straight up awful. But Vinicius was awful.
Yeah, Vinicius was awful.
I'm trying to get the list. Anthony, Rodrigo, Pedro, Sandro. Sandro I like over Silva. That's your old head, Alexandro.
I'm just saying, like Allison. I'm sure Allison takes a mean penalty. I don't know. I bet he does. I mean, Emerson takes penalties for City in shootouts. So like, why can't I don't know. Like, put somebody up there who has experience, but maybe not your like best penalty taker in the world. I just don't understand saving your best penalty taker for 5th. I will never understand it.
I think you do your best penalty. If it's me writing the board, it's my best penalty taker 1st, my 2nd best 5th, because those are the 2 pressure spots. If you get to the 5th shot, it's a ton of pressure. Either you're winning it or you're going to keep it going, right?
Or you're losing. Yeah.
Right. Like that's like either you're going to make it and win it or keep it going.
Yeah.
Out of the 5 shots, or you're losing it if you miss it. So I want my 2nd best penalty taker taking that shot, and I want to set the tone with the 1st shot. That's how I would do it.
It also depends on the team. Like if you're England, you kind of got to mix it around. You don't have a ton of like top end penalty takers.
What?
You just don't. What? Like he just said, Saka does not take penalties for his team.
He does now. He has.
It does now. Okay.
He has in the
then you have Sancho, who does not take penalties.
Sancho wasn't even on the team.
Hold on.
Foden doesn't take penalties. Like who? What are you talking about? Like Henderson? Henderson maybe. Shaw maybe, but like just mix it around. But what I'm saying is, if you're Brazil and just about everybody on the field can take a penalty, just line up first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
I think you're crazy if you don't think that you couldn't do the same thing with the English squad. Just because Foden plays on the super stacked team that is Manchester City, right? That their second team could probably win the Premier League. Doesn't mean he doesn't know how to take a penalty or can't take a penalty. Like I think you're only thinking about the people that take penalties, right? Because like I would put Foden up there before I put Declan Rice, and Declan Rice takes the penalties for West Ham.
I think you're a crazy person then.
I don't.
I mean, if you've got a penalty taker for a club team in your squad, I mean, I would absolutely put them pretty high on my list. I don't know. Didn't matter because England didn't get there.
That's
because
true.
if we move down to
It's
the
good, but
other
it wasn't.
set of the quarterfinals, we had the great battle between Harry Kane in England versus Olivier Giroud in France. Who would prevail as the best number 9 in the world? Who would prevail? And it looks like Giroud comes out on top over old Harry. France wins that game 2-1 in normal time. Harry Kane misses a penalty, the second penalty he has had in the game in like the 82nd minute or something like that. Would have tied the game, but he puts it over the crossbar, misses.
He looked scared the first penalty he took.
What say you, Sean?
I thought it was gamesmanship, but I think you're right. I think he was overthinking it and then took the pause because the ref blows and he stands there. He does what he normally does every time he takes a penalty for Tottenham. He stares at the ball, mouth breathing, and then he just runs up and strikes the crap out of it. And he was doing that, and then all of a sudden he just stops, walks back, resets the ball, tugs on his socks, and then steps back again. And I thought he was playing games with Lloris because they're on the same team and they do this all the time in practice. But I think you're more right. I think he was overthinking it, and he was just like a batter stepping out of the batter's box. He was just like, "All right, let me reset."
Yeah, he looked scared that first one. Like,
and if
I
that
was
were
worried.
the case, my boss who watches soccer, he posed the question of if you know a teammate, if you know their teammates, and he made the first one, would you have picked someone else to take the second one? And I thought about it for a while. And I was like, because it's a valid question. Then I was like, no, it's Harry Kane. He's your penalty taker, and it's Harry Kane the next penalty too, and whatever next competition that a penalty is called against them or for them in their favor. It's still Harry Kane next time.
But if it's not Harry Kane, do you know who I'm sending up there from Southgate?
Probably Shaw.
Harry fucking Maguire. Homie takes a hell of a penalty.
I mean, I think you have to also remember that it's a live game, so it's not a penalty shootout situation. So if Harry Maguire is taking a penalty, he's caught out if he doesn't score. He's 90 yards away from where he needs to be to defend against Kylian Mbappe.
Declan Rice plays center back. You're fine.
I'm just saying, like you have to also take into account those things as well.
The only one on the field at that time that could have feasibly taken that away, because the coach probably isn't making that call. Maybe he is. Maybe he's calling it in from the sideline. But the only one who could feasibly take it away, and Harry would probably concede, is Henderson.
Yeah.
If Henderson came up and said that was a tough one, the first one, because he's a metaphorical captain. He's the locker room captain. If he went up to Harry and was like, "Hey, you look shook on the first one. Let me bury this for you," he'd probably give him the ball.
Yeah.
But Henderson is such a good teammate and a good locker room guy. He's never doing that.
Yeah, because
he's never going up and taking the ball from the captain.
Yeah, because you don't want to go up to him and say, "Mate, give me the kick." The first one was shaky, because then when he doesn't give you the kick, then you've just gotten into his head. You've gotten into his head as well.
Now you're in his head. Yeah, exactly. For a lot of reasons, he would never do that.
I think the moral of the story is you just got to score it. I mean, and you
cannot miss. You have to at least make Lloris save it.
You
At least make Lloris saves that on a good kick. He kicks it almost every time he kicks a penalty. He kicks it as hard as he can into the top left side net, which is where he scored the first goal. Good. Lloris knew it. He couldn't get to it. Do it again. Like he does it every time. Just do it again. If he gets to it, all right.
Look, maybe he was trying out for the NFL. We don't know. Maybe he's trying out for the NFL.
He does talk about being a kicker.
He did say that once, I remember. But okay. Let's get into this debate, Sean. I'm gonna read off these two careers, right? And all of these stats are from Wikipedia. We don't get paid to do this yet, and I didn't have time to do this earlier. Hold on. I'm gonna read these two stats. I'm not gonna name which player is which, and you tell me which career you would like. All right.
No, that's not the argument. Ask the question as it was posed.
The question.
Who would you? Okay.
The question.
James, you answer the question, then I'll read the stats.
The question as posed is: whose career would you rather have, Olivier Giroud or Harry Kane? That was the question.
There you go.
Brad is. I think so. Let's get on the record. Brad, who do you take?
Giroud, 100%.
Sean, who do you take?
It is Harry Kane. You guys are dumb.
I'm also taking Giroud. Now, Brad,
but let's be real though. If I could have,
support your claim.
I could have. I mean, let's be real. I would take either career. Playing soccer and getting paid for it sounds amazing.
Okay. Yes. Sure.
But all right. Are you ready? Would you rather have 553 appearances with 330 goals, 3 golden boots in the Premier League, and 1 golden boot in the World Cup, or 258 goals in 759 matches, a Ligue 1 championship, 5 FA Cups, a Europa League, a Serie A, a Champions League, a World Cup, maybe a second one, a Puskas, and a golden boot for the Europa League?
Did he never win the Premier League with Chelsea?
He did not. We did not.
Dang.
We have not won the Premier League since 2016.
Also, Harry Kane has 2 golden boots. I would like for the record to show.
I said he has 4. I said he has 4.
Harry Kane has 2 Premier League golden boots. You said 1.
I said 3.
I thought he said 3.
But he only has 2, so I could correct you either way. He won them back to back. I think it was 17-18 or 16-17.
15-16, 16-17, and then 20-21. So let me correct you again. Yes. He also won Playmaker of the Season 2020-2021.
So the point is
would you rather
score a bunch of goals?
Would you rather be remembered as
Brad? Let Sean respond.
So what you're asking me is, would you rather be remembered as the best to ever play your position and your sport, which is your national sport? Would you rather be the best to ever play in that position in your home country, or would you rather be a journeyman coat tailor who happens to be on teams that win cups? I'd rather have the legacy.
This is where I think you lose it, because Giroud is not a coattail rider. He is not a bit part player. He is not a super sub. He is not.
What's a super sub for Chelsea?
He's not ancillary.
He played a lot of minutes for Chelsea.
Giroud is initially, and this happened to Giroud so much at Chelsea, where he would be frozen out of the team, essentially, be kind of like, okay, you're not our main guy. And then they would have struggles, and then he would come into the team, he would score goals, and they would win things. It happened in the Europa League, it happened in the Champions League, where their seasons got appreciably better when Giroud started playing more. France. Now, I do have thoughts about Giroud at Arsenal. I like Olivier Giroud, but we would have won a Premier League, I think it was 15-16 or something like that, if Giroud didn't go on a 10-game goalless streak. We would have won the league if he doesn't just put up goose eggs for 10 straight weeks. So as an Arsenal supporter, Giroud definitely left a lot to be desired. He scored a lot of goals for us. He was a good player, but there was a reason why we wanted to move on from Giroud when we did. I'm not saying that the players that we got, we got Aubameyang, and Aubameyang was better than Giroud in the moment. So that was an upgrade for us. But Giroud then turned around and won things because he went to Chelsea, who had a better squad than Arsenal at the time, and he contributed meaningfully in meaningful ways to those teams. He scored goals that won them championships, and he gets lambasted a little bit about the 18 World Cup because he didn't score a goal, but without Giroud in that specific role, they might not win the World Cup in 2018. Giroud was that instrumental to France winning the World Cup in 2018 that he didn't need to score a goal. And they won because of his presence there, because of his ability to bring the ball down, to control play, to pass to his teammates. His ability as a back with his back to goal as a number 9 for France in 2018 was outstanding. And so he might not win Golden Boots. He might not win Strikers of the Year at the Ballon d'Or. But my point is, everywhere he goes, he wins. He is just a winner. Like, he won multiple FA Cups at Arsenal. He won Europa Leagues, Champions Leagues, Ligue 1, Serie A. Like, he's doing it. He's doing it everywhere.
He is on teams that win.
Hey, hold on. Are you ready for this stat?
No.
They
Jimmy,
have the same amount of international goals.
Jimmy, Brad is asking me. Brad is taking Craig Counsell over King Griffey Jr. because Craig Counsell has 2 World Series and go him over King Griffey Jr.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me.
Okay.
Yes.
You'd rather have the career of Craig Counsell than King Griffey.
Okay, but what about this? Like, you look at Harry Kane. When the moments matter, in large part, look at Tottenham when they went to the Champions League final. He didn't play in the semifinal, and they make it to the Champions League final miraculously, and then he plays in the final, and they suck. Like, does that go against Kane? I mean, yeah, Kane would have had a European Championship if Rashford, Sancho, or Saka had scored a penalty. He would have had a European Championship. But at the same time, like he has not scored a goal in his career that has won him anything, right?
Like, what's the point of
indictment?
What's the point of club or international football?
To win.
To win things, not to score goals, to win things. Yes, you win by scoring goals, but the ultimate objective is to win things. Why, if I score 330 goals and I have no trophies to my name, then, like, I don't know. Cool, you'll talk about him until, like, depending on how long Haaland stays, then Haaland will blast open his Premier League record. Like, let's be real. Like, 7 seasons, Haaland's going to be the leading goal scorer, even if Kane happens to pass him in 2. 5 years later, Haaland's running up there. Then nobody's going to remember Harry Kane.
That's assuming
he'll be the second best goal scorer.
That's assuming Haaland stays in England.
I don't know. His dad said he could stay for 15 years. Like, that's what Alfie said.
I'm just saying that when we look back at the best English players, they name off all the top goal scorers. They name off Charlton, Greaves, Shearer, Rooney. It's in 20, 30 years, it's going to be Kane right there with them. And these are who you look back on. And you're like, wow. You don't look back and think, man, I wish I was Peter Crouch, or like these fringe players that were pretty good for a little bit. And my of course, this is going to get passed by Mbappe, so it's kind of a moot point. But it's funny because it's true. In 30 years, he's the leading scorer in France. In 30 years, you're gonna ask the trivia question: who's the leading goal scorer for France? And everyone's gonna say Henry because Giroud is so forgettable.
Here's the thing, right?
Why would you want that? Why would you want your legacy to be so forgettable?
So look, how was it forgettable? Look, Harry Kane is in one book and one book only. That's the goal scorers book. Giroud is in the Ligue 1 championship. He's in the FA Cup championship. He's in the Champions League championship, where he played a big role. The Europa League championship, where he should have been like player of the tournament, but Eden Hazard dominated the finals, and people decided that was more important. He's in the Serie A book. He's in the World Cup book. He's got a Puskas.
Because when you look up who won it that year, it says, when you look up who won the Champions League that year, it says Chelsea, not Olivier Giroud and company.
So,
like,
I don't think we're gonna solve this, but you guys in the comments should get in there. Tell us what you think. Tell us which career you would rather have. I think both have merit. I don't want anyone to hear this and think that I am harping on Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane's a good player.
Look, if we're talking about which player is better, Harry Kane is the better player. Harry Kane is a world class player, but
I'm
I'm taking
arguing
Giroud's career.
having a legacy.
Giroud
Do
has
you
a
get?
legacy.
He
How
doesn't.
you're crazy.
He's
You're crazy. Look,
no
okay.
no one no
Number
one
one.
in 30 years is going to be like, man, my kid's really good at soccer. He could be the next Giroud. No one's saying that.
I don't think
They're going
anyone's
to
saying
say
that.
he could be.
I don't think
I don't
anyone's
think
saying
anybody's
about
saying
that
about Harry
Kane
Kane.
either.
Yes, yeah. When he's 30 goals ahead of Rooney, he's tied right now. He's 29. He's going to play at least another Euro championship with qualifications, another World Cup with qualifications, and another Euro with qualifications. He's going to have 25 to 30 more goals than second place.
You don't look at a 6'1" striker and say, I could be him. You look at Messi and you idolize being Messi. You idolize being Kylian Mbappe. You idolize being playmakers. You don't idolize just pure goal scorers. People don't run around
Kids
today
like
and say, I want to be Didier Drogba, unless they're from the Ivory Coast. We clearly have an English football bias because that's the league that we watch. You have a Spurs bias. I have an Arsenal bias. Brad has a Chelsea bias. But we have collectively have an English football bias. And so I think that when you talk about people aren't going to be talking about Olivier Giroud in 30 years, I think that's strictly because you're thinking about Olivier Giroud in England and not Olivier Giroud in Europe.
All right, wait. Let's see how crazy Sean is real quick. Hold on, I got a question. I got a question for you, Sean. Let's see how crazy you are. Because like, if you think Giroud rode coattails, okay, cool. Would you rather have Harry Kane's career or Drogba's career?
It's probably still Harry Kane.
I mean, Drogba's a poacher, the poacherist of all poachers. So
Probably, but that's close. That's closer. That's closer though.
I rest my case. That's
That that one I'm not willing to say. Oh, that's Harry Kane. Definitively, you guys are dumb. That's an argument I'll take. I'll take that one.
I rest my case.
Because when you think of
Drogba's
best strikers
crazy.
in the Premier League history, Drogba's in that conversation. You name Drogba when you're talking about the best strikers in the Premier League history.
I don't know if I agree with that.
You do. You just don't want to say it, but you do.
I don't.
You said it
He was-
before.
He was such
He's
a
in the
poacher.
conversation.
I don't know. I think Harry Kane's a better
But
goal scorer than Drogba.
Sounds like right place, right time.
I don't know, man.
But he won a bunch more cups. Like that's the point between Harry Kane, because like he's saying that like Harry Kane, because he was the main person and scored all the goals, never won anything. So let's get the main person who scored all the goals.
So you're telling me all you're telling me, if Roman Abramovich happened to purchase Tottenham and spend $1.5 billion on their roster, all of a sudden that just makes Harry Kane that much better. His career is so much better now.
I think Harry Kane, if he's at City, I think if Harry Kane's at City, or I said this to Brad, if he's at any of the other big five clubs when they win something, and Harry Kane is there, I think Harry Kane would have won everything, and we would be thinking about Harry Kane differently. But not winning things, I think, is an indictment.
It's huge.
It's an indictment. We've had Eric Dyer and Ben Davies in our back line for 6 years. What's an indictment on Harry Kane? Like
he signed a 7-year contract with Spurs. No one forced him to sign a 7-year contract with Spurs.
And this isn't like one of the best generations ever in England. And he still hasn't won. And he had it in his hands. He had the ball in his hands and put it down to shoot and skied it.
There's 89 other minutes in that ball game. Him missing that penalty is not the reason they lost the game. He didn't give up.
Keep it going. He didn't give up
2 goals.
It's true.
Was he in the back line? Was he losing Giroud and then own goal in it? They gave him the goal.
Oh, wait,
that was a Maguire. That's a Maguire own goal, by the way. That's not a Giroud goal. It went off Maguire.
Doesn't matter if it goes off Maguire.
That's a Giroud goal.
If it's on target when it's shot, then it's.
It didn't hit Giroud. It hit Maguire's shoulder. Look at the replay. Look at the replay.
That's even funnier. Giroud's goal. Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
Other quarterfinals, because we haven't even made it to the semifinals yet. Morocco beat Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo was out. End of Cristiano Ronaldo's career as a World Cup player. Maybe the end of his career. Who knows? But
Saudi.
Yeah, probably. Semifinals. So yesterday, Argentina beat the socks off Croatia 3-0. Messi Otherworld.
Yes,
Um,
it is written in the stars.
Yeah,
I appreciate him taking down the value of a center back target we're trying to get. I appreciate that because he made. I don't want to begin to Gavardiol.
Gavardiol.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
I'd have
think
to see
y'all
it spelled again. But
GVARIDOL because I was just looking at it.
yeah, he took him for a couple of hot dogs and then sent him to the beer stand, and then dropped it for a easy lay-in.
Alvarez ran through the whole defense too. Like it was just a bad
Alvarez
game
had
for Croatia.
an amazing game. Emi Martinez also had another very good game for Argentina.
When you watch that game, were you very scared that City have Haaland sitting at home getting better and they have Alvarez, who just gained confidence?
Yes.
They kind of play the same position, so I don't know what that does for them. They're both kind of center forwards. I guess you could play Alvarez on the left, but
it means you can rest Haaland and still be banging in goals.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. That's what I'm asking if it's scary.
Yeah, I got 5 points on City.
And no striker.
What are you talking about? We got Eddie Nketiah, number 14 for Arsenal. Just okay. Roll your eyes. I mean, he scored 2 at Stamford Bridge last year, Brad. So,
what's 14 significant for some reason, right?
Only the greatest, the greatest player to ever play in the Premier League wore number 14 for Arsenal.
Well, it's the second leading goal scorer for France.
It's almost like having that legacy and that clout with that number means something. It's almost like that. That's kind of important.
Are you trying to
tell me
that the Spurs number 10 means something?
I think everybody's number 10 means something. Oh, no, you just said it with such reverence. You just said it with such reverence. I would
argue
that legacy.
I would argue that the 14 shirt at Arsenal is up there with the 7 shirt at United.
Or Real.
I'm just saying, like it's such an iconic, important shirt number at Arsenal specifically, just because of Henry. But that's another conversation for another day.
Chelsea's got one of those.
And number 14? Number 9.
The 9.
Yeah, for different reasons.
Number 26. What you mean?
All right. France, Morocco today. France wins 2-0. It was a good game. Morocco were scrappy, but they just didn't have it in the final third. France were just too well organized, I think. So that sets us up for a final of Argentina-France on Sunday. So I think that's going to be a great final.
Yes. Who do we think wins? Let's get it down.
Yeah, we need to.
Who wins is the Qatar Sports Group. Because either way, a PSG star wins.
You're not wrong. But who do you think wins, Sean?
Score?
It's probably Argentina in penalties. Nah, do I want to go penalties? 3-2 extra time goal.
3-2. I can't type 3-2. There we go. S. Brad, what's the score for you?
2-0 Argentina.
2-0 Argentina.
Oh.
Messi brace.
No, not the choke.
I'm going all in on Messi.
Did you pick Messi to be your golden boot, Brad?
No, I don't think so. I probably picked a Chelsea player. I forget. Do you have the sheets there, Sean?
I don't think we put them on my sheets. I think we put them somewhere else.
They might be in one of the rundowns.
No,
they're probably in a rundown from weeks ago.
I'll probably pick the Chelsea player. Let's be real.
I pick
myself.
Yeah, I don't think we wrote them down over here.
I think this is a tight game.
I think you're wrong. France looks very beatable in both of these past 2 games.
And you don't think Argentina also looks beatable?
I think they look a lot less beatable.
I am taking...
And they have less injuries.
You're taking Saliba. Come on.
1-1. I'm taking France in penalties 4-3 after a 1-1 game.
I thought you typed 3-0. Like France were not going to make a single penalty. I thought you were like, what a Emmy homer that is. France aren't making a single penalty in penalties.
I do like Martinez. But I think the game ends 1-1. I think it goes to penalties. I think France wins. And I think I also need to have words with FIFA and Qatar for playing this game at 10 a.m. on the East Coast in America. Can we at least get like a game at noon? Like,
I think you forget that. I think you forget that English or American TV deals probably are nothing compared to the rest of the world.
I understand that, and I know
They're
that
probably trying to get. They're trying to get it primetime midday like that,
Europe,
like
yeah.
mid afternoon Europe.
Well,
Exactly.
Yeah, the tradition is 6
Europe,
p.m.
Africa. Yeah, that little
6
that
p.m. host
corridor of a
time, right?
lot of people.
6 p.m. host time is the traditional final game.
I don't
It's kind
care.
of like F1 only does like it's always at 2 p.m. Besides the night races.
I don't care.
All right.
I'm mad. All right,
Well,
Brad.
it's traditional play period is in June, Brad. You think they're? It's not like they're just making up their own rules over there.
That's
Like it's
true,
not like
Sean.
it's not like they're following it by the book. 6 p.m. start time.
That's a fair point,
Well,
Sean.
actually, start time was June 3rd. We missed that one.
All right, Brad. You look like you had a question you needed to pose.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I did not.
This should be a good game. I don't think there's much to say about it. We know what it is. It's Argentina, France. Like these are two powerhouses of football. And then we'll be done with the World Cup. What a World Cup it's been. I think it's been great.
The game I don't want to watch because I just rolled my eyes just thinking about Argentina, France. Because at the beginning, none of us wanted this final. And then here it is because we knew it was going to happen. You wanted to watch
of this final. I wanted Argentina. I picked Argentina to win it all.
But I'm still gonna. I like roll my eyes at it because I don't want to watch it. But I'm gonna watch it.
It's gonna be
the World. It's the World Cup final. And it's gonna be an awesome game.
It's gonna be a great day. What is that? December 18th, and then what is it? 8 short days later. 8 short days later, we're back. Boxing Day in England. Premier League is back. I'm excited.
Mariball is back.
I'm ready.
Ball is back.
Conte
I can't wait for footy.
Bentancur's down for a while though.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Abductor tear down just a couple of weeks. He needs about a month and a half, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
From when Uruguay were eliminated. So that's a week ago, almost 2 weeks.
So maybe mid-January is what you're thinking?
Yeah, early to mid-January is when they're expecting him back. Maybe only missed one to 2 games.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
You mean like 4 games? You forget we missed a whole month of football.
What?
We missed a whole month of football for the Premier League. He's going to miss like 4 games.
Why is he going to miss 4 games?
They don't start up till
December 26th.
But then they're playing like every 3 days.
Yeah, okay. There are a lot of games in quick succession. That is true.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like normally you'd be like, yeah, you miss 1 or 2 games, it'd be fine. Missing double that.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you're saying. You're saying the congested schedule. We will talk about that congested schedule next week. All right. So, some notes for you guys. So this is our last like weird week where we're just going to record randomly in relation to the World Cup. Starting next week, in theory, we should have our regular schedule program for you guys. Wednesday review, Thursday news, Friday preview. Now that might change the last week of December because we've got travel issues and vacation issues and things like that on our own end. So there may be episodes the last week of December. There may be not episodes. We haven't figured that out yet. But that's why you want to hit the subscribe button. Ring the sub notification bell so you are constantly alerted to when episodes drop. Hit us with a follow if you're listening to us on a podcast. Share it with your friend. Call up your favorite internet personality who has a huge mass following and get them to give us a shout out. That would be a great Christmas gift. Someone send us to Joe Rogan and have Joe Rogan, sell us out on the JRE. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Shall we do one manager trivia?
Oh, I
got one.
The thing is, Brad's out here waiting for trivia until I'm midway through our exit. Okay, I guess.
I always am. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, awkward pause.
This gives me more time to talk about Giroud. That's all I'm going to do during this pause. And that
Okay.
glorious period. All right, guys. So this manager has been coaching since the 80s, but has only managed 6 clubs and a country. His name is Louis van Gaal.
Yeah, Louis van Gaal.
Louis van Gaal, whatever. How many teams can you name, Sean?
4.
You got 4. All right. Ooh. Are you gonna let him have it?
There's no way I get 4. Impossible. No, I can't get 4.
He's. I'm going to save the one I'm least sure about for last. So Netherlands, United, Bayern Munich, and Ajax.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you do the? Do you know the other 2?
I'm going to guess something lower in I don't another team in the Dutch league.
Yep.
Is there
What
another
about the other one?
big? Is there another big club?
There's another big club.
PSV Eindhoven.
No,
Oh.
that's fine. There's another big club here.
A part of me
that he
wants.
had 2 stints at.
Part of me wants to say like Barcelona or something like that.
You would be correct.
Okay, I thought it was Barcelona.
And the other one
Barcelona?
is
What? I don't
twice.
remember that.
Twice.
Okay.
I'll go over his career in a second. AZ is the other one.
Oh, AZ
Oh,
Alkmaar.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So he started in 86, 87 as an assistant at AZ.
Okay, assistants don't count.
Hold on. I'm getting.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
88 to 90, he was the Ajax youth coach. 89 to 91. Hold on. Let me finish, and you'll understand why I'm doing this.
The dad.
89, 91, he was the Ajax assistant. 91 to 97, he was Ajax's manager. 97 to 2000, he was Barcelona's manager. 2000, 2001, he was the Netherlands. 2001, he was the Netherlands U20. 2002 to 2003, he was Barca's coach. 04, he had a small stint as the Ajax technical director before he got into a fight with Koeman. 05, 09, he's back to AZ. And then he decided to switch it up a little bit. Bayern 09 to 2011, back to the Netherlands 2012, 2014, Manchester United 14 to 16, and then back to the Netherlands 21, 22. Like homie has only gone to 6 spots his entire career. Like he's gone to 4 spots mainly, and then he had 2 stints randomly.
I'll tell this story as quickly and family friendly as I can. The only reason I knew about Bayern Munich is because I am aware of this story. Don't know if it's true. I have not seen this, but apparently in his press conference, his opening press conference as a Bayern manager, they asked him about only coaching, realistically coming from, just bouncing around the Netherlands, a little bit in Barca. Does he have the male fortitude? Are his cojones big enough to handle a job like Bayern Munich? And he pulls them out and puts them on the table and asks them, I don't know, you tell me.
That's not true. That's not a true story.
Whether it's true or not, I'll never forget it, and I want it to be true so bad.
It's not a true
story.
I
want it to be true so bad.
Not a true story.
But that's how I knew that he managed Bayern Munich.
All right.
Wow. All right.
Now
that was a good one, wasn't it? That was fast.
Subscribe to the podcast. Do all those things.
For more manager trivia.
Hit us up in the comments. Let us know who you think is going to win the World Cup. Let us know who you think's better between Kane or Giroud, whose career you'd rather have, because that's a better question than better. And all those things. And until next week, thank you. Back to the Premier League after this. Let's dig in. We're excited. Thank you. Good night. Have a good one. Take care.